Setting boundaries in our life is another challenge which I have seen over and over again in my life and people whom I interact every day. And that is something actually you should definitely work upon if you want to have a better control on things which you do and ultimately better control on the results which you are looking for. So today I'm going to cover some of the things which I personally do and I get maybe a lot of benefits out of it, if not the real benefits in terms of money or something physical assets. It's some of the time it is like your mental peace and relaxation and clear thinking process. That is something is very important, because as you grow older or become more senior in your organizations, then you have to think more rather than act more. That's what I feel, and these boundaries can help you with that. Hey guys, welcome to Money Mindset and More, and today I'm going to cover what are the boundaries or normally I feel in my life I should be taking care of, and you might also get benefit out of it. The first one is time boundaries. I think this is something which we always use loosely in our life, and we have to make sure that we manage our time in a very strict way. Probably I normally divide my personal time and critical working time in a very strict manner. That way I can achieve a lot of things. I have my priority working hours, and it's not depends upon always something which I want to achieve professional. Sometimes it has to be work in harmony with my personal life, long-term goals, objectives, and my professional life. So but I try to do those things for sure, and most of the time my target is to achieve most of the important tasks before lunchtime every single day. If I am able to do that, I have a lot of time to think and act on things which are not prioritized, but they might have some long-term impact on my growth and other things. Definitely you should see how you are managing your time with the proper boundaries. The next one is your emotional boundaries. I think everybody should be empathetic. We should not be becoming arrogant or someone who others don't want to look up for. But you should be empathetic. At the same time, you have to make sure that your emotional energy is not draining on things which are unnecessary. And first thing you can do, you should get rid of all kind of toxic people in your life. It does not matter how close they are. I have already shared in my previous videos also. If it does not matter how close somebody is, if they are toxic, they are negative, they are going to impact ultimately your health and your emotional well-being. You should definitely get rid of them as soon as possible. And also avoid unnecessary drama both in personal life and work life. When I analyze small events, so for example, let's say your child is not cleaning her room, not eating on time. Now all these things are emotional draining things as a parent. If you start focusing on those, you will be having very tough day every single day. But if you just let it go, probably things will feel better. If you are having those challenges, try it once. You might get some relaxation yourself. Next one is your financial boundaries. Now, you should never take any financial or spending decision based upon some emotions. It has to be attached to some goals and objective in your life. I'm not saying that you should not have fun, things like that. You should definitely have those, but most importantly, you have to make sure that you are not spending something based on your emotional decisions. That is a waste for sure. Another thing I have analyzed in my life is never try to help anybody in monetary terms unless they ask for it, especially your close friends and family. If they are not asking for it and you are trying to help them monetary, then it's going to be ultimately impact your relationships based upon my experience. So if somebody asks for your help, definitely do it. Don't jump the gun and just start helping people because you have money. That is going to backfire you. Next one is next boundary which I normally do, my availability boundaries, and it is very smart, important, right? You have to communicate clearly when you are not available and when you are available. It seems weird because you are telling somebody your calendar, but actually it is very helpful for you and for them also. So for example, I have certain days, certain hours I am not available to anybody, and I tell normally to my wife that okay, these days, these hours I'm not available. It does not matter what somebody else is inviting or we have something else, I'm not available on these days. Most of the time I make sure that my personal calendar, my professional calendar, and my daughter's calendar, because she's in high school, all three are aligned so that I'm not overcommitting any slots and my availability is absolutely clear for myself. You should try that. If you are not using calendar in your life, you should start using it. It will actually help you to understand how you are spending your time, and then you will unconsciously aware of your availability all the time, and it will help you. Next one is your energy boundary, how much energy you have. If you are not spending time on your light exercise and walking and things like that, you will have at least 20 to 30% less energy for yourself, which you can use. And also you have to spend your energy, rather not spend, I would say consume your energy on your long-term goals and priorities. You should never waste energy on things which are irrelevant in long term. So for example, let's say you have some argument going on with somebody in your workplace and you are ready to argue for another hour, but if you clearly sit down and think how does you will feel about that particular argument, a 1 hour of wastage, 1 hour of time, 1 hour of energy draining, after 10 years, will that matter after 10 years if you spend 1 hour of energy draining with that person? If the answer is no, then you should save that time, save energy, and utilize somewhere else. It's very simple. Try to see what you are doing now. Does it have any impact in the long run? If it does not have any impact in the long run, then you know the answer. Don't waste your time. Just move on. The next one is digital boundaries. Extremely important. Probably you should start with it. Put a limit on your social media. See what you are doing, what you are wasting, and you can control all those things. For example, I used to be on Twitter or X a lot of time. So I started analyzing how much time I'm spending. I figured out that it was at one point of time, it was like 5 hours per day, which is a lot of time on a single platform. Consciously, I cut all those things. Now I know I have to spend these many hours with my followers, and I always do that part, and then I just moved on to my things. So if you have smartphones, go see your screen time, analyze the week, how much you have spent on which apps, and if you find out something which is extraordinary or abnormal, try to limit those. Definitely is going to help you a lot. And the last one is, I would call it intellectual boundaries or maybe learning boundaries and things like that. It is very important for you to have these kind of boundaries. You should always filter information which is very relevant for you to achieve your goals, objectives, or what you want to achieve in your life. It should not be random. For me, it is very different, and people get annoyed also because of that. I don't watch movies which are totally irrelevant and for fun. I don't watch series which are irrelevant all, no value addition for me, and that is why my selection of movies or things are very small. Same goes for other content like news channels. I don't watch political news channels. I watch probably economical news channel and things like that. So when you filter all those things, you will probably find out you have a very specific set of mediums to consume the information, and based upon that information you can become very, I would say, clear thinker. I would say smart. Being smart might be different, depends upon how much effort you put, but you definitely start thinking in a different directions. For example, rather than just blaming that tariff is going to hurt you, it might have some positive impact also. So once you start digging those things, you will actually become more intelligent, and you can have more intelligent conversations, or you can just don't do conversation and you're for your own understanding, right? You can do that also. Also, try to learn new skills. I keep trying to learn new skills, whether it is new subject or new language or new let's say sports or something like that. And also read or listen. I listen a lot, so whenever I'm driving I will probably listening an audiobook, and I have probably heard so many of those. Many people say that it is irrelevant, is not count as a reading a book. I disagree, because it is far better than listening a song which is just making you fun. Listening something which, like for example, Rich Dad Poor Dad, or maybe Atomic Habits, or How Your Millennial Mindset, 5 a.m. Club. So there's so many good books available. If you keep listening those books, you will there are things which will stuck in your mind, and those are the enough for you to carry on and act on it. So make that also as a part of your life. So yeah, these are the boundaries probably I normally try to have in my life. I also don't spend too much time on clothing and other things. I just stick to some specific pattern, specific colors, and I just go for those things only, so that my decision fatigue is very less, and I can use that energy somewhere else. This is what I wanted to cover today. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any comment or questions, please share with me, and I will happy to answer. And I'm going to cover financial boundaries more in detail in one of my videos. How I use money, how I earn money, and how I invest. Probably you can get some ideas from that as well. So thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.